Okay, there we go. We are finally recording. What you won't see whenever you watch this video is that when I hit record the first time, we actually still had it on camera, so we took a nice snapshot of ourselves. So everyone, hello again. It's us, Brandon and Carrie. And as you can see, I really am stretching my wardrobe. I think this was the same jacket I wore on the first video, but I have a hat this time, so it makes it a little bit different, right? So, anyway, we have a little bit of an update for everyone. The last time I told you that we were expecting the first chemo and radiation treatment to happen today, and it didn't. There were a couple reasons for that, and I'll get into that in just a minute. But as of right now, we were told that it will start Wednesday. So I have less than 48 hours before I get to take the pill and get zapped. So anyway, I'm not looking forward to that. Throughout this entire process, I really haven't been anxious about anything, and I wouldn't say that I'm anxious about starting the treatment, but I'm not looking forward to what this chemo pill is going to be like. I don't know, just kind of hearing the stories of how it makes you sick, and the thought of putting a poison pill in my body isn't the most wonderful thought. But again, I'm going to trust the process and just believe that if this is what God intends to use to make me better or to prolong my life, that will happen. So anyway, the story about why I didn't start today, the pills actually came in Friday, and I was given instructions the minute that I had the pills in my hand to call the Arnold Palmer Cancer Center, which is where I will be going for the radiation treatment, to let them know. So I did that Friday, and I was told, well, we can't tell you that you're going in Monday yet because the plan hasn't been finalized. And I didn't quite understand all that they were telling me, but what I was told, it kind of made it sound like the insurance company was holding up some stuff. And that was late Friday. I didn't have a chance to talk to anyone over the weekend, so I called them first thing this morning and learned that, well, it wasn't really the insurance company that was holding things up. The radiation oncologist didn't sign off on the final plan until either late Friday or early this morning. So that radiation treatment plan was signed off by the radiation oncologist today, submitted to insurance today, and insurance approved it. So I actually have to go in early tomorrow morning to review the plan with the team at the Arnold Palmer Cancer Center, and then again, treatment will commence on Wednesday. So that was that. One other thing I wanted to mention here before we share a couple thoughts is, as you can see this wall behind me, and some of you have had opportunities to stop over in the last couple weeks, and you recognize the card wall from the videos. It just keeps expanding, and thank you so much to everyone who has taken the time to write me a card, write me a letter, send me an email, send me a Facebook message, so forth. Again, I've said it, and I'll continue to say it. The words of encouragement are inspiring. They lift me up. They give me the strength, the energy, the passion to keep fighting. I certainly don't lack that in all that I have here at home for Carrie and for the children, at the very least. And but this pushes me, this drives me all the more. So thank you so much for all of these cards and for all of the encouragement that I continue to get. Wanted to also take some time today to just share with you some thoughts of what we've been dealing with throughout this time. I ask you all to continue to pray for Carrie and the children. The kids are kind of hard to read at times, being that they're all 13 and under. But I can see ways in which this is beginning to weigh on them. There are elements of this that are becoming more real to them, I suppose. So for all of the prayers that you all are praying for me for healing, and I certainly welcome that and appreciate that. If you could just keep Carrie and the kids in your prayers as well. The kids we're trying to keep their lives as normal as possible with their schoolwork, and the 5 oldest ones all are in a cyber school, so they do have a lot of flexibility, which is good because they've missed quite a bit of time. And we've been traveling a lot recently, so given the flexibility with their cyber school, and they are able to keep up with that. And then we're moving into baseball season, and last year we had 4 teams. Tyke, our oldest, was on a team. Trista plays softball. Trey and Titus and Tyson were all on a team, and then Timothy played t-ball. So this year we're going to have 4 teams, and Tyke's not sure if he wants to do baseball or track this year. So whatever he ends up deciding, that'll be a 5th activity that we'll have, and so it'll certainly be busy. And then to compound issues, we have 1 driver this year and 1 vehicle. So it was tough enough last year with having 2 drivers and 2 vehicles. So again, I ask you all to keep Carrie and the children in your prayers. I don't know if you want to say anything else about that. No? Okay. And I don't think there's anything else that I definitely wanted to address tonight. So we have, the clinical trial. So I think I mentioned this in the last video. We got I had a former colleague, someone I still keep in close touch with, who reached out to me over the weekend and told me about this clinical trial through the Oklahoma Medical Research Foundation. It was an organization with whom he had very close ties. They have this cutting-edge drug for glioblastoma that was just recently purchased by a Japanese company because they've had some good success with it. And so I reached out to the team there of scientists and doctors and was able to connect on Sunday with the one doctor, and going back and forth. And right now I only have a communication path via email, and so we've had some delay in going back and forth. Essentially, he told me that they were very interested in getting me into this clinical trial, but it seemed that the closest location would either be the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia or perhaps a Cleveland clinic. I asked if it would be possible to coordinate this clinical trial with UPMC. He said it would likely be difficult, but he would reach out to the team of doctors. I actually had a chance to talk with the lead oncologist at Hillman today for my case. And she said typically it doesn't work that way. There's a clinical trial coordinator at each facility. So Hillman has one. I guess this Oklahoma Medical Research Foundation would have one as well. And there's a whole process they have to go through before they can approve a clinical trial. So they wouldn't be able to make a special exception for me. And I would not be eligible to participate if I already begin treatment. So it seems like that window now is very, very small. I don't know how likely it would be. It is something that I'm still willing to pursue, and I guess the last-ditch effort will be to try to get in contact with the clinical trial coordinator at the Oklahoma OMRF, Oklahoma Medical Research Foundation, and see if there's something that they could do. While we certainly wouldn't have limitations with time and flexibility because I'm not working right now, Carrie is not working right now, and the kids can do their schooling from anywhere, I'm not thrilled about the idea of operating our family, even if it were for a period of about 6 weeks. I don't know. There's a lot to put people through, and while I understand that the clinical trial they've had success, there's no guarantee that it would work. But anyway, if you see this video between now and first thing Wednesday morning, and that's something that you want to add to your prayers, I would certainly appreciate it. If this is meant to be, that God would open a door. If not, then we would close it and just go ahead with the plan to go through the standard of care at Arnold Palmer Cancer Center. So that's the update for today, and I'm going to close out today with another Bible verse. This one actually was something that the family we discussed because we've been doing a devotional that one of our friends gave to us when I was in the hospital. It's actually a devotional. I think it's either written by or inspired by Charles Spurgeon, who was I believe, a late 19th century preacher in England. But the devotional talked about Philippians 4, 12, and 13, which a lot of people are probably familiar with verse 13. And verse 13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that's one that you see a lot of times, particularly in sports. You know, you'll see athletes write that. I remember Tim Tebow had it on his eye black. And so, I mean, that's one, of course, we all like to lay claim to. But oftentimes it's kind of taken out of context. And the context is really provided in verse 12. And so I'll read it, and then I'll talk a little bit about what the lesson was. So verse 12 says, and this is Paul writing a letter to the Philippians, I know how to be abased, and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I have learned both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. The end of that was verse 13. And so the lesson was in the devotional that it actually isn't all that difficult to draw near to God when you're going through trials. Right now, this certainly I would classify it as a trial in our life, and we have certainly drawn near to God through it. The difficult part oftentimes is to draw close to God when things are going well in our lives, when we have abundance. And there have been times in our lives when we've had more of that than in others. Actually, right now, it feels like with all the showering of gifts and dinners and so forth that we've been receiving, it feels like we're living in abundance. But, for most of us, there are various stages in our lives. And those times when things are going well, work is going well, maybe we get that raise, maybe we, something breaks our way. At those times, are we drawing close to God in the same way that we do whenever we really need Him, whenever things aren't going well? So I put the challenge out there for all of you, as I put the challenge there for myself. When things are going really well in your life, stop and pause and make sure that you are thanking God for those times and really drawing near to Him, making sure that you don't forget Him during those times of success, because that's usually our first reaction whenever we have those times of failure, have those times of trial, is we want to draw near to God and say, God, help me here. Please fix this for me. Okay? So, again, just quick little note, something that I've learned, and it really impressed me, and hopefully someone else out there can find meaning in that. So that's all for tonight. We'll probably check back in with you Wednesday after the treatment, if I'm feeling up for it. Maybe Carrie will have to step in and do all the talking Wednesday. I don't know.
No.
Okay. So anyway, everyone, good night. Take care. Goodbye.